Right, we're live. Walsh is snug and also great food, music, and lively conversation. Look forward to today's lunch, Billy. The fish and chips are awesome, as you know.
The coffee ain't bad either, Joe.
Okay, for the business, we're going to talk some hockey. Yeah, the coffee is good. Isn't it? We're going to start off with some hockey. Maple Leafs have now won 4 games in a row. Not the best effort, I would say, in terms of effort against the Red Wings last night, but good teams have a way of getting the job done.
Yeah. Well, you figure, I don't know, how many hockey shifts are in a game? Probably, would you say? About 100? I don't know, 120, 130, 80, 90, whatever the case is.
Yeah,
Leafs were
okay.
the better team in about 17 of those 100 shifts last night, and still got the 2 points. So
because talent shines through. You know, I mean, look at that goal by John Tavares. So, I mean, look at the dipsy doodling by William Nylander, even though he didn't exactly score last night. But Kasperi Kapanen getting 2 big goals. I mean, the talent of this team shone through, and Garrett Sparks was good enough to win this game. And another thing I saw why maybe the Leafs gave up on Jonathan Bernier. He wasn't the strongest in that last night. I mean, that game winner in overtime was disastrous. But I think overall, when you look at this team, second in the NHL in terms of wins, second in the NHL in terms of points. I think if you look back in the beginning of the season, both Kyle Dubas and Mike Babcock are going to take where they're at.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. Maple Leaf forwards, the roster of 12 guys up front are, I don't know, they're Corvettes, man, Lamborghinis. They're something to look at, man. The question is, man, do they got the motor inside? Outside it looks good. The team looks good. Second in the league in points, as you mentioned. But again, I don't want to harp on it. I want to keep harping on this, but I see a club that when the ice closes, when there's no room to skate, as Detroit did yesterday. Detroit closed the neutral zone on us, took away time and space, and for about 45 of the 50 minutes, we looked like the second best team on ice, and frankly lucky to win the game, right?
Well, no question. I mean, they were outplayed by the Red Wings, but again, like even on off nights when maybe the effort isn't there for whatever reason. I mean, because it happens in an 82 game schedule. No team comes out and plays whole hog, full board at the top of their level for 82 games. You have to look at the fact that even though they're not at the top of the game, they're still winning these games. And it's because of the talent that they've got.
Without a doubt, but you also sometimes we forget these guys are human beings too. We got a lot of very young guys on our club. It's Christmas season, right? So these guys are home for a homestand, 3-4 games. So you don't think they think about shopping for their wives. They don't think about Christmas. They don't think about the family. Maybe they don't have a couple of eggnogs, and they're human beings. They're kids, right? So obviously playing those games at home, having a game on Christmas Eve. Detroit's playing a road game. They're hungry. They come to play. They're all young kids too, right? We played a game with minimal effort. We still got the 2 points. Now, how's that going to look in the months to come? I got my questions. I'm always going to have my questions. And first and foremost, I start and end with Nylander, man. And again, my opinions on Nylander were not cultivated over the last 8 games. So we won't worry about that. Nor were they as a result of the lockout, man. It's business. I've been saying for the better part of the 2 years, every time I see Nylander on the ice, 3 words come to mind. One, I'm not going to repeat because there might be some kids watching. The other one is arrogance, undeserved, and the last one's entitlement. When I watch William Nylander play, I see a guy that's beautiful. If you scored behind the net off the end boards, man, he'd be tops in the league. I see a perimeter guy. I see a guy that flies around. And you know what? I've never seen in William Nylander from the day that he first came here. I've never seen him mad once. I've never seen him play with emotion once. I've never seen him snarl once. Well, once in 3 years, man. And you know what? Either he's young and he's developing, or he is who he is. And either way, I'm not necessarily a fan, nor am I happy with the contract and him as part of our core moving forward.
Well, I disagree. I totally believe that he plays with emotion. It's just maybe his emotion isn't as obvious as it is to some of us. A lot of people play with emotion without like letting their emotion get the best of them. I mean, look at how often do you see Mitch Marner snarl? How often do you see Austin Matthews snarl? These guys don't have to snarl. Their job isn't to snarl.
Joe,
their job is to put the biscuit in the basket.
They don't snarl, Joe, but their snarl comes in the way they fight for pucks in the corner, man. Toughness in hockey's an interesting. Toughness in period's an interesting word. Mitch Marner's a tough son of a gun, man. Make no mistake. He's this tall, but he's a tough son of a gun. Make no mistake about it. So's Matthews in the corner. Try to push him off the puck.
He's tough,
right?
On the puck.
But I'm talking about when I say this.
I also think William Nylander is tough on the puck too. And remember, he's only we only got the 8. He's a tough guy. Look what he does with the puck. The guy's a magician. He's a wizard. He
for a solid defenseman.
Okay, Dan over there says trade him for a solid defenseman. I know a lot of people are of that opinion, but you know what? I don't doubt that Dan and others could be right. I mean, we could see this team, as a trade deadline draws near, that they could make a significant deal for a defenseman or another forward. But I don't think that's necessary. I think that this is a team that is going to beat you on pure skill. The game has changed. The goalie pads are smaller this year. You're seeing scoring going up. Offense is the key here. And this is a team that has more offense than anybody else in the NHL, hands down. And you had a piece like William Nylander. Remember, only 8 games. He's going to get better and better. I mean, he showed glimpses last night. I mean, he really did. He had some great rushes, great end-to-end rushes. He was, he tricky moves to get through the neutral zone around other players. That's going to continue to grow. Personally, I think I'd like to see him on a line with Matthews and Kapanen myself.
Okay.
Because I think that would be a very scary line, and I think I'd like to see that. So I know we did see it for a brief moment the other night, but I'd like to see more of that, because that's going to be what it takes, I think, to get Willie going.
Get the power play going.
Get the power play going. So my friend says get their power play going. So the only way we're going to get that going is keep it Willie on the second unit. Here's the difference between.
We'll see.
Here's the difference moving forward. As the Leafs move forward this year, this team, as we see it, with some slight additions that we're going to get into later, we're going to talk about where we're thinking in terms of additions to the club. But moving forward, there's going to come a point in time where Leaf management's going to have to make a decision. Not this year, maybe not next year. It's either gonna be Kapanen or it's gonna be Nylander. Who you got? Who's in your opinion?
I don't think you got to make that. Why do you have to make the way?
Money says
both.
You know what? You can't have
Cap's
both.
going $83 million.
No, you know why you
next year.
can't have both? I'll tell you why you can't have both. Because they're the exact same player.
No,
they're the
agreed that. Okay, you two.
They're
great,
the exact same player.
No, they're not,
okay.
In my opinion, they both have tremendous speed. They're both great speed. Great wingers. They both have tremendous.
Who's got
speed.
better hands?
Nylander.
He's got a better shot and better hands than
Nylander has a
by
better
far?
shot. No. Kapanen's got a great shot.
Who's got better? Who's quicker
Kapanen's
on the
got
puck?
a great shot. Kapanen might be a tad quicker in terms of pure speed, but Nylander, I believe, has the better hands. And I think remember the guy's only 8 games in the season. He's still catching up, and he probably will be for another couple of weeks.
Who plays with more tenacity?
Probably Kapanen.
All right.
But I mean, that's more his style of game, and we talked about that earlier. Like, not everybody is going to be the same player. We don't want everybody to have tenacity. We want some people who have finesse. We want some people who are skilled playmakers, and we want people who don't get riled up when the going gets tough. It's nice to have players that keep their head on the ice. You don't want a lot of Brad Marchands out there. You want guys who are going to keep their head. You want guys who are going to play.
Brad Marchand, you want to give them to me? I'll take them quickly. But anyways,
but you don't want him. You don't want him in a clutch situation, because the guy's liable to just kiss somebody or bite their neck or do something crazy and hurt you in a bad time.
You know what the difference is? I'm going to tell you guys out there the difference. I'm going to tell you. Hockey dads, right? Hockey families, highly touted. Here's the difference, man. And you can see every time Kapanen plays. Kapanen has already dealt with adversity. Don't forget, Kapanen came from 10 slots lower than Nylander. He came from Pittsburgh. He was traded. He was discarded by a franchise, and you're not good enough to play here. He sat in the minors, and we're waiting for him to get called up, and he paid his dues in the minors, right? Hold on.
But it was just a different team.
He paid his dues in the minors. He's got adversity. At this play, he's been entitled from the get-go. Willie's been anointed.
Higher pick.
Higher pick, okay, but player for player, man. When I watch the two players play, if you're giving me one player moving forward, man, I'm taking Kapanen all day. I'm taking Kapanen next year because the intangibles that you can't measure. William Nylander is who you see.
But the Leafs have always known what they've had in Nylander. They scouted him from day one. They drafted him. Kapanen came over in the Kessel trade. They had to learn what they had in Kapanen. I mean, they knew they had a good player. The scouts knew that they had a good player in Kapanen. But Babcock, Dubas, all those people, they have to know what they've got in this player, and they've learned. And they know what they've got in this player, and what they've got in this player is a hell of a young player who they've got to sign like all the rest.
Absolutely, it's going to cost money. So the point of the matter is, Cappy's played half a season, he's got 15 goals. Playing with Matthews, 15 goals in what, 35 games. Nylander clocks 20 the whole season playing with him. You don't think if Kapanen plays the whole season, he's going to score 30 points, and he's going to hit you, and he's going to fight, and he's going to snarl Kapanen?
But I'll tell you something else.
No.
Matthews is a better player this year, too.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
The Matthews of last year, I'd rather play
Fair
with
enough.
the Matthews
You know what?
of this year, right?
Nylander is in the top 5 players in the league, and I'll tell you in what way. Only one way. If he gets the puck at the blue line, and there's a little open ice. There's a little open ice.
But don't you want that guy?
Yeah, I want that guy, but here's the deal, man. He'll cross the blue lines. He'll gain possession of the puck, and you know where he's going, man. Without a doubt, he's doing the pirouette around the net. He's looking around. He's skating at the perimeter. This guy's allergic to going in front of the net. Anytime there's a body on him, Joe, watch the game. All Leaf guys, hold on.
You don't want Mitch Marner to go to the net. That's why he's got his
Doesn't
position.
matter, but Mitch Marner goes there too, man. Nylander's allergic to contact. Every time somebody puts the body on him, you know what Nylander does? He falls on the ice. Watch the next Leaf game and watch Nylander the minute there's physical contact. He never wins a one-on-one battle.
You don't need...
Really, you'll get the most in the trade for Nylander.
Yeah,
That's the beauty.
Dad
That's
says
the
we'll get the
beauty.
most from the trade for Nylander. That's true.
That is the
Absolutely.
beauty, because
So-
there's a perception that Nylander's the better player, and you know what that perception is? It's created by the media. It's not true.
But you know who has to have the same perception that you and Dan that do is Kyle Dubas
Yeah.
and Mike Babcock, and I don't think they're there.
No.
You don't need 20 guys that are going to go to the net. Okay, somebody's got to be the guy who makes the play. You know, just like you've got the Zach Hyman, the guy who digs for the puck, but isn't ever going to get more than 20 goals.
No.
But Babcock loves him. Personally, I love him too. I think he's a great player, but I wouldn't have him on one of the top 2 lines. I'd have him a little further down than that because he's a great player and he can make things happen on certain occasions. But yet, I like the finesse guys. I like to see the finesse guys doing what they can do. And if your job is to stay on the perimeter and get the guys to puck like a William Nylander does, I like that.
All right,
Okay. Like Austin Matthews is still. I don't want to see Austin Matthews digging for the puck all the time. I like to see Austin Matthews get the puck, control
You don't
the
want
puck,
him digging,
knock
Joe.
guys off
Yeah,
the puck. But I don't want him standing for the net
No.
because he's got. I don't want to see this guy injured again.
You don't want him digging for the puck. I got you. Sometimes. But you want to know that he can. Nylander can have a great skill. You know what greatness is? When you have more than one skill, when you're not one-dimensional, when you're playing just one aspect of the game, man, where you only can offer one element to your team. Matthews, for all his greatness, doesn't offer one element. Matthews goes into the corners. Matthews can play in front of the net. Marner, the same thing, man. These are beautiful players. Willie Nylander, from day one till now, I don't know about the future because the kid's got talent. I'm not going to say he should be playing Junior B out in Keswick somewhere, but
Elmira.
but the point of the matter is,
There almost would believe that.
stop. I'm trying to concentrate here. From the point of the matter is, to this point, the Leafs in general have shown they're a one-trick pony. When the ice is flowing, when there's open ice, there's not a better team in the league. If contact was outlawed, the Leafs would win cups from here to 20 years from now, right? If they played 3-on-3 the whole game, there's not a better club in sight. But what happens when the game turns? What happens when you got to play in the corners? What happens when the ice shrinks? What happens when you got to win puck battles? You watch the Leaf game. You watch it yesterday. You watch all year. This is not a revelation. I'm not telling you something that is some kind of mystery. Watch when the puck gets behind our net, behind our blue line. I can go here. I can go to the snug over there and get me a cold one, even though I don't drink, and come back, and the puck's still behind the net, man. Right? We can't knock any guys off. We can't fight in the corners. We don't win puck battles. We win puck battles with our sticks. Okay, fine. That's what talented guys do. But sometimes you need a puck battle. You need a guy back there that's going to put a guy, when he's cycling the puck, that's going to put a guy in his face. You need a guy if he's going to crash a net. You need a guy that's going to, you know what? You need a guy that's going to put somebody on the ground. Hockey might have changed. Understood.
Exactly,
Understood,
man.
man.
Exam time for them is when they play the Bruins.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
exam
well, we'll see.
time.
But they may not. Hopefully, they won't have to face the Bruins this year because the Bruins have been like kryptonite for these guys. But you know what? Again,
It's a different team.
It's a different team. And a lot of people go back to the fact that they've lost to the Bruins twice in the playoffs. Fine. They lost to Washington once in the playoffs. Fine. This is the team that was a very good team that has had a John Tavares. And look at what Tavares is doing, man. This guy. You talk about a guy who isn't afraid to get his nose dirty.
Tell you about
what hands he's got. What amazing deflection that was. 7 seconds left. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. But they've got a whole bunch of guys who are potential team MVPs.
Yeah.
Freddie Anderson is potential team MVP. Morgan Riley, potential team MVP.
Tavares, Matthews, Tavares, you name it.
Yeah.
You
Mitch
name it.
Marner, no question. I mean, you got a whole bunch of guys, and I really believe that William Nylander has the potential to be among that ilk. It's going to take him a little while to get going, but he's such a magician with a stick.
Oh, geez,
remember
Joe.
Kent Nilsson?
Okay,
Remember
all right,
Kent
okay.
Nilsson? Did you
All
ever
right.
see Kent Nilsson?
I saw Ken Nilsson
Okay,
play.
but he made things happen, right?
He made things happen.
He's a great player. Yari Curry. Did Yari Curry ever go in the corners?
Gary Curry didn't have to go in the corners, number
Did
one.
Mike Bossy have to go in the corners?
Yeah, but again,
know?
do never ever out loud, Joe, compare Mike Bossy to what are we talking about? Wee Willie. Don't ever make the
let's see what
comparison
happens.
again.
Give the guy a
please.
chance. He's
Give
only
the guy a
22
chance.
years old, right?
All right, here's the deal, man. Give the guy a chance. Okay, fair enough. Give the guy a chance.
Best player.
You know what, my friend, man, I would say you're right on the money. Actually, you know what?
this
You should
stage-
come and take this guy's seat, man. I mean, you should talk. Listen to me. I'm gonna
'cause
tell
you're
you.
saying
I'm
the
gonna tell
same
you
thing.
about
It's no
Leaf
good.
fans. I've got a quick trivia question for you,
right,
man.
yeah,
Have
yeah.
a sip there.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Relax a little. Your age, man. You gotta breathe, eh? Take it easy. There you go. Who's the last Leaf to win the Norris Trophy?
The Norris, Randy Carlyle, when he was with the Jets.
Yeah. Who's the last Leaf to win?
The Norris Trophy.
Yeah. You bet. If you get this answer, you're a magician. You're smarter.
Jeez.
I'll tell you-
Even Bobby Bond didn't
I'll
win
tell
the
you
Norris.
I'll tell you who it was. Hold on, Joe. Let me spoil it because we don't got much time here. We got to get on to other
Boreas
sports.
Solmick should have won the Norris.
You know what his name was?
What?
Bob Never.
Never.
There's never been a Leaf that's won the Norris. Riley this
Never?
year.
Really?
If you took a Never. There's no Bob Never. It's just Never. Jim Never. Larry Never. There's no Never. Point of the matter is, if you ended the season today, Riley wins the North. Who's the last Leaf, and you probably covered him, to win an Art Ross? Not an Art Ross, an
scoring
MVP.
trophy.
An MVP.
Oh, probably Ted Kennedy, man.
Eh? How did you know? You covered his rookie year.
Yeah.
Didn't you, you snake? Teeter.
Back in the 40s, right?
1955 was the last Leaf to win an individual award. This franchise, as glorious as it seems,
No, Doug Gilmore won the Selkie.
won the Selkie. I'm talking about 1-2 Vezina.
Okay. Right,
Not the
right.
Vezina. I'm talking about the Art Ross and the Norris. Top forward, top defenseman.
Conn Smythe.
Yeah,
Art
Lee-
Ross.
Man,
Art
this
Ross.
roster is beautiful.
ones, right?
And you know what? If Dubas doesn't do some
Hart.
to add to this roster, because it's so beautiful. Leaf fans are so excited. They haven't seen a product like this, man, since your hair was a little bit lighter. Right? At no point in time. So Dubas, it's on you, buddy, to see what's wrong. Forget the analytics, man. You gotta understand, man. You progressive thinkers want to reinvent the wheel, man. But there's certain spokes that can't be changed. There's a physical element, man. You know what? Wayne Simmons is sitting out there for you. He's sitting out there. He's ready to play with Matthews and Nylander. Make the trade.
You know what? Kyle, the word is now. Kyle Dubas and Brendan Shanahan have put, they had some pieces before that, but basically, this is Kyle Dubas's team. Okay, he's created this Leafs team with, and created a team with Finella with potential MVP candidates. Okay, guys who are in the line for all those trophies that you talked about, and they've never had this before. So Kyle Dubas has created something we haven't seen ever.
Create a winner. Now create a winner, man.
Right.
What happens next?
So what are you telling me? The team that's second overall, okay, and finding out this team as it is going to be an airy team. I don't think there's a team that contend with the Leafs, and I think it's going to be
As
the
is?
same team come
As is?
as is come
As
playoff,
is?
as is.
You sure?
As is. Come playoff time,
As is.
you watch what happens. Okay, this team is going to be is going to be lighting up the lamp. Remember, one of the big changes in the offseason was the goalie pads getting smaller. You're seeing more offense this year. You don't need to grind and grit and tackle guys and fight and all that stuff anymore, because you have guys who can light it up, who are going to come at you in waves, and I don't care what kind. They're going to frustrate people. People are going to take penalties against this team, and they are terrible, and they're going to light up the lamp, and this is going to be a team that's going to contend for the Stanley Cup.
When my toilet breaks down, I don't need a plumber. I don't need a painter, man. I need a plumber, man. How the hell can you win in any man, especially during that you got a bunch of
In any area, look at the Oilers. Okay,
Yeah,
for example,
look at the Oilers.
They had some guys who could fight back then. Fighting wouldn't cost
McSorley's.
you like it would.
They got Griggs in the back.
Yeah,
they got
yeah.
Kevin Lowe. You think
Yeah.
Kevin Lowe's soft?
Right,
Joe?
right.
You think those guys?
But
Kevin
they-
Lowe was never a fighter, man.
Yeah.
But you think those guys are soft in the playoffs? In the
They're
playoffs?
not all soft. I mean, Zach Hyman is not soft. Nazem Kadri is not soft.
Okay, the list goes pretty long,
Ron
Joe.
Hainsey's not
No,
soft.
Ron Hainsey's not soft. If he's not soft, he's slow, man. One of the two, soft and slow, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Zaitsev's not. Dermott's. All these guys play the same kind of game. You know who I
And
want?
Morgan Riley's not soft.
Morgan Riley, number one. Morgan Riley could be the best defenseman in the world right now. There's a case to be made, and I'd be the first to jump on board with that. That's not the point. That's
So
not what
you've
I'm
got
getting.
enough guys who have their grit. You've got enough guys
No,
who
you
have what
don't.
it takes. You've got enough guys to play that type of game. What you really have is a team that is unmatched in terms of talent and finesse and ability to put the puck in the net.
I'll tell you a little story. If you're going out 4 or 5 guys, right? Have an evening out, man. Maybe, I don't know, go hit a nightclub, whatever the case is. There's certain bars that you can go into. Pretty boys, kind of like me, or mingle a little bit, talk a little at the bar, dance floor, what have you, right? Certain bars, I can get away with that. I can go in there, no problem, There's every now and then there's a bar, you need a knucklehead beside you. You need a knucklehead. You know what happens when that knucklehead is beside you, Joe? I'll tell you. Guys like me that are
You
sick.
call me a knucklehead.
Guys that are like me, 6'1", automatically grow to 6'3". I'm not looking over my shoulder to wonder if I'm talking to a guy's girlfriend and I'm going to get a shot. I'm not looking at the dance floor. I'm doing whatever I want because I got confidence. And there's more space that opens up for me. You put a couple guys on the Leafs that open up space. It's not about fighting, man.
Okay.
That's the sentiment in hockey that will never
do you think
change.
that Matt Martin made them a better team last year?
Hey?
Do you think that Matt Martin made them a better team
I
last year?
think I'd rather.
You don't think they're a better team this year than last year?
Dollars to dollars?
Right.
Dollars to dollars? I'd rather have Martin than Gauthier. I'd rather have Martin than Par Lindholm. I'd rather have Martin, but I don't want Martin at $2.5 million.
But Gauthier has scored a huge goal
Yeah,
last
he scored
night.
it no way, man. Every blind squirrel finds on that too. Thanks a lot. You score one every 40. Come back by April and score me another.
So maybe
one.
when Matt Martin's on the ice, he don't score that goal. Maybe they lose the
Doesn't
game.
matter. Doesn't matter. The point of the matter is when he's on the ice, other people know hockey's a game. Let me explain it to you like this. 9-year-old all night. You name it.
Lucic.
7.
Lucic, yeah. No.
Here's
See
the
what
deal,
I-
man. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
When
Now
a
look what they have in the Oilers when they signed Lucic. Eh?
Here's the deal.
They have a great team. They signed Lucic and they miss the playoffs.
You sign a guy. You overprice a guy for $7 million. Different story. I'm not saying pay that kind of money. Look, when any kind of defenseman, any kind of player on the ice goes in the corner, they know when other guys are on the ice. You're talking about split seconds in time. When a defenseman's going into a corner to retrieve a puck and those cadres on the ice, he's more likely to take that split second panic because he knows no matter what you're talking about, when a guy knows his face is going in the glass or a guy's finishing a check, the natural instinct is to speed up the play a little bit, to turn it over, to be rushed for time. When you know you're coming down a wing and Cronwall's there, you have in the back of your head that this guy might put an elbow and might put you in the hospital. You know that in your head. That those little moments in time create turnovers. They change the game. They change momentums. Those kind of guys, and you need those kind of guys to win. If you don't have those kind of guys, all you're going to be is pretty. All you're going to be is nice. All you're going to be is a fantasy team, and you're never going to win it. Because the only way you're going to win a cup is if you pay $10 and go to Front and Young in a cab and look at it through the glass.
And you know what? And there is a time and a place when you need that. But you know what? The game has changed. The game is changing, and you're talking a lot about history here. Okay, what I'm telling you is that this team in this day and age is probably good enough to win it. But having said that,
You want to take that chance?
You
You said
no,
probably.
okay, say probably.
You want
Say-
that?
No, listen. Probably good enough to win it. But having said that, okay, if we come to the trade deadline, and Dubas and Babcock put their heads together, along with the rest of the coaching staff and the rest of the management team, and they say, okay, you know what, guys, we have a really good team here. We got a team that can win it all. But you know what? Maybe a piece like a Wayne Simmons, maybe another defenseman, maybe something like that is going to what we need to get us over the top. And the thing is, I trust that they know what they're doing. I trust their judgment.
I don't trust these progressive thinkers. I don't know how far they're gone. Listen to me, Dubas.
Okay.
Hear closely. Listen to me.
Hope you're listening, Kyle, because
Kyle.
Billy has some important words for you here.
Your cousin is out there, man. Nobody knows about him. You'll hear about him in a couple of weeks. You know who the guy you want to get on your defense? You want to play him. You want to shelter his minutes and get him on the ice. Is Radko Dudas out of Philadelphia, right? You get a guy like that, he's perfect. He's an expiring vet. He makes no money, man. And you know what he is? He's Polak on steroids, man. He's Polak, but he can skate. And you know what? When we played Marchand, you're gonna enjoy having a guy that is out there mean, man. He's a mean hockey player.
If you play Marchand, because Marchand might be a wild card.
You need some mean hockey players, man. You can't be all pretty. You need some mean guys. Go get this guy. Bring us a Simmons. All expiring contracts. Our draft picks don't mean nothing. We got some guys in the minors. Bracco, for example, American-born guy. You can tell Philadelphia that he's the second coming, top 6 forward. You can bring Simmons in here, man. It's not complicated. Don't waste a year being arrogant enough to think you can win exclusively by skating. Because if you watch 50 minutes of that Red Wing game plus 10 other games in this year, you'd realize, man, that it can't happen. When the ice shrinks, we need to grow, not shrink.
All right, Kyle, I got your back in this. I think you know what you're doing. I think you're going to make the right move no matter what that happens to be. Okay, this segment is brought to you by the Taxperts. If you need help with personal and corporate tax filings, if you're being reviewed through the Canada Revenue Agency Audit and Appeal Divisions, Taxperts Group is the best firm in Toronto. 2 lawyers, 3 CPAs. Call the Taxperts at 416-493-0444 or the website at taxpertsgroup.ca. All right, Taxperts.
Hey, Uncle Sam.
All right, pay your bills. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, pay your bills, pay your taxes, and you'll stay out of jail. Okay, next we're gonna flip here. We're gonna move to the hardware. We're gonna talk about the NBA, and okay, so another snub for the Raptors. Okay, they're starting to get some love on U.S. television.
Yeah.
They're starting to get some love. But here's Christmas Day. The best team in the NBA is not playing, and you got teams like the Utah Jazz and the teams like with the New York Knicks. Granted, that's a big market, but who cares about the Knicks really? What are the Knicks? They're 9-25. You know, and the best team in the NBA is not playing on Christmas Day. What is this?
Dollars and cents, Wes. Dollars and cents. A lot of people don't know when a game goes, when ESPN covers a game, they don't get nothing from the Canadian viewership. So in other words, ESPN is selling a game to one the market of the opposition of the Raptors. They don't get none of the advertisement from the Canadian consumer. So it's as if they're selling their product to one market only. That's going to change, man. That's above sports, right? But the point of the matter is, there's only one way this changes moving forward. If come April and May and June playoff time, if we hoist the trophy, then they got no time, right? We're the NBA champions, man. You got to watch us whether it hurts your pocket or not.
Well, you know, another thing is too, and here's a factor that I think that the NBA is overlooking: the fact that the Raptors have a tremendous following. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not just about network TV, U.S. network TV. Okay, it's also, you know, the internet. It's also, you know, people's handhelds or tablets.
Absolutely.
I mean, people are watching. I mean, you tell me that millennials generally don't watch TV anymore. I mean, they're all the action they're seeing is on their tablets and handhelds. And you know what? The Raptors are among the tops in terms of hits and in terms of followers. I mean, face it, you got 35 million people in Canada, right? Yeah. That are basically Raptors fans. I mean,
and
for the most part.
Roger's making every penny, every dollar off those people. We're not talking about how the
NBA. The NBA owns all the rights on the NBA.com. I mean, this is Major League Baseball. One of the reasons that they are so successful is they do extremely well on the internet, and that's one of their biggest money makers, and that's why they can afford to have these astronomical salaries in baseball, because they've got that revenue stream, and I think that's a factor that the NBA has to take into consideration. But
Again,
I want to say, I just want to and having talked about that for a second, I just want to say, the Raptors 25-10. Kawhi Leonard has missed 8 games. Kyle Lowry's missed 4 games, and here they still have the best team in the best record in the
Best
NBA.
record in the NBA. With the Raptors, I have a completely different philosophy and take than I do with Maple Leafs. I believe the Raptors are dangerous in the following ways. The Raptors can play any style of ball. Raptors can play inside out. Raptors can play up pace. They can play half court. They got versatility, and they got depth, right? All elements necessary, and they got a horse. Kawhi Leonard's a horse. Make no mistake about it. No team in the NBA can win with role players. He is a horse, and arguably again one of the best 5 players in the league, without a doubt. But
I think he's this year. You might say he's the best team in the league.
Yeah,
I'd say he's the best team in the league.
Again,
Player in the league.
there's only from a Raptors, and other than injuries, you can't control injuries. Injuries come, injuries go, and what we do in December matters little until playoff time. The one concern moving forward from my end is in a game that's turned in a way like never before to the 3-point shot. Raptors are in the top third in the league in shooting them, and the bottom third in making them. Now, if you look at that, you ask yourself one question: Is this a matter of personnel? Can Lowry start shooting a percentage? Can Danny Green?
Those are the 2 guys. Danny Green's fine. Green's.
Or do you have
Danny Green's been
or do you have to go out of the organization? I had a fantasy when I was driving over about having Bradley Beal in a Raptor jersey, right? But can you get him without giving Siakam? Can you get him with just Anunoby? Can you get him Anunoby a first?
If you can get it for C.J. Miles.
Yeah, if you could get it for C.J. Miles, man, I don't know, man. But it's worth a call, man. It's it's worth a call, right? So the point of the matter is,
Norman's playing a little better these days too.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's back from injury. So
The depth is there, right? But you ask yourself, do you need another legitimate scorer? You need another guy that can shoot the rock from 3. That's the bottom line. Other than that,
Okay, now to answer that, I think Kyle had a slow start in terms of making 3 balls, and you do have Norman Powell coming back. C.J. Miles has been the big disappointment. I think you're going to see a lot more Norman Powell, a lot less C.J. Miles going forward from here, and I think Norman Powell has what it takes to get the job done. I think Fred VanVleet can make 3s. Danny Green can make 3s. They got a team that can make 3s. And remember, you're going to have our buddy JV coming back.
Absolutely.
From injury down the road here. So this is another month or so. But
they can make 3s, Joe. They can make 3s fine. But you know what? The luxury of championship caliber NBA clubs is the ability to create your own shot. Danny Green can hit 3s. When he's open, Danny Green can hit 3s. Kawhi Leonard, the difference with upper tier basketball players is they can create their own shot anytime. They can get whatever they want off. And the question you got to ask yourself is, can we win? Can we win with only one guy, literally, that can get his shot whenever he wants a shot, or do we need another piece? Can we find another piece? For me, that's a tough question. Right? Ideally,
I just think if you look what's coming, this is going to be a real. And I think that Kawhi Leonard is just an absolute beast, not only on offense but on defense. This is this is always the problem that Nick Nurse is taking over.
Kudos to Nick Nurse, by the way.
Taking over from Dwayne Casey, Casey's always considered the big defensive mind. They could never play defense when it mattered. Now they can. So now they got that extra element. And, as come playoff time, defense is obviously a very important factor. I like this team. I like this team to go all the way. This segment is brought to you by Wealth Realized Financial Services. Visit Mike Hopkins at wealthrealized.ca. Wealth Realized. Give Mike a call.
Yeah, get that money.
He'll fix you up.
Fill up that wallet, Mike. Boy.
Okay, we're going to switch gears now to the NFL. We just when you thought that the New England Patriots were
Dead and buried,
and not the team that they thought they were going to be, here they are. They're probably going to have the number 2 seed in the AFC. Who figured?
Who figured that? Here's what you know about the NFL. Even the biggest expert, you know nothing.
Yeah.
There's 12 clubs. There's 12 clubs that qualify for the playoffs. Toughest sport to make the playoffs, by the way. 12 out of 30, right? Mm-hmm. And literally, you can make a case for any of the 12 that are qualified for the playoffs to make a run. Every team from the Saints to the Chiefs to the Chargers, every team's got holes. There's not
Rams.
a team. Every team's got holes.
Cowboys.
Actually, you know what? Truth be told, if I'm looking if I'm looking at this objectively, the Cowboys are one of the few teams that are strong. All three aspects of linebacker, up front, linebacker, and the secondary. They go 3 deep. They got a great running back. The question for Dallas remains and will always be is Dak Prescott that can win a game. Prescott can manage a game if everything goes their way. That team's got a good defense, but can Dak Prescott go toe to toe?
He's got something to prove.
Can he go toe to toe with Drew Brees in the dome if the game gets in the 30s, or if you're down 14 in New Orleans and the fans are on top of you, and you're looking, then can you win, man? And the jury's still out on him, right?
I know Drew Brees can.
You know, without a doubt. Also, you gotta also give a shout out to my buddy Robbie out in Wildwood, New Jersey. His Eagles got one more week to live, man, before the funeral arrangements next week.
Well, you never know. I mean, they are the defending champs, and they have rallied a bit here.
Yeah, and
to put themselves at least alive. Keep themselves alive.
Rallied.
Well, they haven't rallied.
Yeah,
they keep themselves alive.
They keep themselves alive, and I'll tell you this: there's something magical. I don't know what it is with you Philly guys down there because you're torn. Do you get a Wentz jersey? Do you get a Foles jersey? Foles comes. Wentz looks like the better player, talent-wise, right? Yeah. Talent-wise, but Foles comes in. That's a different team psychologically. I don't know. They believe in this guy more. They take
those are the intangibles.
Those are the intangibles you can't measure. Like if you're looking at two guys and you're scouting them at the draft and you got Foles and Wentz, man, you take it every day, twice on Sunday. But
it's like Ryan Leaf or
like, you know how that turned out for so it's interesting down in the Dirty Bird land. Actually, what were they called? They're not the Dirty Birds. That's Atlanta. That's Fly Atlanta. Eagles Fly, right? They got another week to try to win and hope Bears Minnesota next week. That's a tough game. I see Philadelphia sneaking in the wild card spot, and you know what? 3-6, man. They'll give the Bears all they can handle and then some. All they can handle, right?
Trubisky's an interesting character.
He is. Yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but when I watch Trubisky play, not only his face, he reminds me so much of Tony Romo in the way he's semi-athletic. He's like a little wacky, a little unpredictable. Throws the ball in tight spots, but people seem to love him, man. People seem to love him, and for me, that's the comparison I draw. And the question is, at this point in time, can Chicago, with that defense, they can win at home probably, but with that defense, can they go into New Orleans? Can they play the Rams and win on the road? That's the question, right? And then for me,
Merry Christmas, Dan.
Merry Christmas, guys. For me, it's difficult. For me, it's difficult to see anybody go into New Orleans and win come playoff time. But again, if anybody's got a shot, man, Cowboys and the Bears. If their defense travels, they got a shot, right? On the AFC side, however, it's kitty bar the door. Anything goes. The best AFC team might miss the playoffs, conceivably. Baltimore just beat San Diego. If they lose next week, they're out. Pittsburgh smacked New England,
right?
And if they're in peril of missing the playoffs, and they beat New England, they beat them bad in Pittsburgh.
The Colts, they were 1-5 at one point.
Yeah.
Do you give this team a chance? I mean, teams that tend to be getting better as the playoffs approach quite often do well.
Yeah, they quite often do well, but again,
I don't trust that team. Chiefs would have to be the team to beat.
Yeah, Chiefs were the team to beat until the Kareem Hunt incident, or the linebacker. When the Chiefs played this year, the Chiefs were.
But it's Patrick Mahomes that really.
But hold on, Joe. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Any team, especially come playoff time, you got to run the ball, man. You got to run the ball. You got to keep defenses honest, right?
Well, the guy they brought in,
guy they brought is no. You can tell the difference in the Chiefs play. Plus, the Chiefs, the defense is suspect to give up 30 points a game everywhere they go. The talent, but as a unit, anybody down. Mahomes is a kid. You don't know how to handle the spot, right?
Yeah, so Mahomes versus Brady would be.
You know what? I would like
if the kid rose to the occasion.
Here's the deal, man. You know what? The more that I think about it, I've come to a conclusion that this is the year of Drew Brees. He's been around for God knows how long, and I don't know if you know, Drew Brees got about 18 kids, right?
Yeah,
so something like that. He's a monster on and off the field. Anyways, okay. You know what? I think it's time. He's had a long and storied career. You know, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if it's Brees versus who's the other guy, man? We're talking about, man.
Oh, Goff? No.
Brees and Rivers.
Brees and Rivers. Okay.
Brees and Rivers, like come January, right? And I give an outside.
Okay, you're charged. All right.
Yeah, and I give an outside shot to the Cowboys to represent the NFC East because again they're the most balanced club player for player that still is that's still.
And they have beaten the Saints.
Yeah, they beat the Saints at home, right? And that's one thing to do, but it's quite another to beat them
in New Orleans, because that game's in New Orleans.
And then also, when they played, man, for Dallas it was a relative elimination game. New Orleans coming in with an 11-1, 11-2 record, man. They know they lose, they're not dying, they're not going home. It's one thing to play when you have outs. It's another how you come to play when your season's on the line, right?
Yeah, so it's starting to look like a Drew Brees, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, well,
All
can't
right.
argue.
This segment is brought to you by Aldo at Remax Crossroads. Call 416-GET-ALDO. And for all your realty needs, there you go. For Aldo. Call Aldo. And finally,
Aldo,
now
good guy.
we're going to wrap this up with the Monday night game. And it's not much of a Monday night game, really. It's Denver and Oakland, a game that doesn't mean anything because both teams are going to miss the playoffs, and that's already guaranteed.
Did you say it doesn't mean anything?
Well,
it means something to somebody right here, man.
Yeah, okay. Broncos are favored by 3 in this game. What do you say?
Broncos
Anthony?
by 3, eh?
You were right, nailed it last week.
All right? So,
Okay, what's with Santa?
man, I'm giving a little gift, man. I'm giving a little gift. So, first thing that I thought about when trying to handicap this game, God, look at my life. Look where I've become, man. I'm doing podcasts with old man Tilley, man, for 220s and a fish and chip lunch. Holy jeez, you know why that is? Because the Greek never quit when he was ahead, when he was younger. Point of the matter is, every NFL team, number one, if you're watching this game tonight, I'd like to have a talk with you. Yeah. If you're watching this game and you don't have any money on it, then I really know what you're doing, man. It's the point of the matter. 3-point spread you set for who?
For Denver.
For Denver, okay. Every team in the NFL has one thing in common. They'll play an elimination game at some point in their season, right? For Denver, it was last week. Lost to Cleveland for all intents and purposes. That's, if it wasn't for Christmas, I don't think always that Sig's going to fire the guy on Christmas Day, right? So died last week. They played their playoff game. Veterans coach out the door. And on the other hand, the elimination game for the Raiders was week 3 of the preseason, right? They've been playing with the same kind of squad all day. So what you gotta know is this team is hungry. They got young players that are trying to prove themselves because Gruden is going to be there till me and you are not here. Gruden's going to be there for the next 10 years, right? So you gotta prove to him that you can play, right? Denver's got nothing to prove. Denver's packed it in. Denver went golfing the minute that
New coach, you wait a couple weeks till the offseason, you got a lot more to shoot.
So the point of the matter is, and then Case Keenum out of Denver, player for player. So the point
Carr's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a lot around.
The point of the matter is, and you know what, this is I always
Well
feel
paid,
like
too.
I always feel like coming out of retirement when I do this segment. But the bottom
I
line
want
is,
to ask you guys a question.
Shoot.
Okay, here's your question. Because we talked about this in the dressing room. If Frederick Anderson went down,
what do we do?
and do they rely on Sparks? And if not, this is the one we always talk about. Who would you get? What goalie would you get? What is the best backup goalie right
It's
now
like
in the NHL?
but you know what, Dan's joined us here because he's got a beef about the goaltending. Look, if Carey Price goes down for Montreal, what happens? If
They're not gonna make the playoffs
If Pekka
anyway.
Rinne goes down for
I know, but what
Nashville,
we've been looking for is who is that guy? Who is that backup goaltender? Who's the best backup goaltender right now?
You know what? I mean, listen, it's going to be Garrett Sparks because he's the guy right now, and then they bring somebody up from the minors.
Who's the kid, man? What's his name? That Walmsley character, man. Maybe we'll bring him out of retirement.
Yeah,
Ricky
yeah.
Walmsley?
Ricky
eh?
Walmsley.
How's Palmetier, man? Eh? Bring
Eddie
Palmetier
Bill-
out and give us
I
a
think
shot.
They'll make a
Eddie
movie
Bill
out of
Force
it. They'll
is
make a
good.
movie out
All
of
right.
it.
God bless
Thanks,
you.
Ed.
But
Merry
anyway,
Christmas.
Let me ask you a question while I'm guiding you. Who you like, man? The Raiders or the Chiefs, man? Tell the world, man. I'm trying
No,
to do
Raiders
this for
or
the
Broncos.
Raiders or Broncos. Who you like, man?
Well, I've been a Broncos fan.
Oh, Lord, all right.
Okay,
You know what?
He's going to steer you wrong.
It's
Okay.
sentimental.
It's sentimental. So, friends.
Merry Christmas, Dan.
So, friends, if it's not obvious before the Greek explained to you why, you know what? The Raiders, my friend, tonight are going to win by 2 touchdowns, and that's a guarantee. Merry Christmas, man, to one. And
All right. Merry Christmas. This pick, by the way, Billy's pick is brought to you by Toronto investment advisor Graham Kirkland. Visit argosyKirkland.com. And that wraps it up for us here at the Snug. Billy, any final thoughts?
Yeah, before we get going, always
Merry
a pleasure.
Christmas.
I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas. And for anybody out there that's watching, and hopefully it's going to, it says here there's about 20, maybe we'll turn it up to 40, 100. Who knows one day? The point of the matter is, for anybody out here watching, we wish you love, wish you peace, wish you happiness. and also take the time to, a little shout out to my buddy Byron, watching direct from the homeland in Athens, Greece. Love you, buddy. And also taking the time at this point in the year to always remember that there's a lot of people out there that are not smiling. They're not happy. They're in deeper and darker places than some people can ever imagine, right? So let's take a moment to feel gratitude for what we do have, and let's also realize again that the battles with depression, mental health, addiction are real. They're out there, and no matter where I go or what I do in my life, I carry you with me. God bless you. God bless everybody. Keeps your head up. And if you can't, go fight and go grab it up again. Better days ahead. Love you. Merry Christmas. All the best.
All right. And you know what? If we can think good for somebody else during this Christmas season, this world is going to be a much better place. So, Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.